Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to discuss about the likely case as to where Bitcoin going to be by the end of 2022. So we're going to answer that question. Where will Bitcoin going to be by the end of 2022? But before we're going to answer that question, what is my current outlook right now for Bitcoin? Right now, Bitcoin for me is still in a bearish trend. I'm still macro bearish on Bitcoin because of two reasons. One of them is this red trend line. This red macro trend line is still above our current price level. If we cannot break above that, then we're still at the downward trending channel. So break above that, then I might reassess my outlook. The other technical analysis or technical tool that I'm looking at is the 200 MA. Yes, the 200 MA. Sorry, I have to change this to a 1 day so that we can see that. Okay, at 200 MA. 200 MA is currently at 34,000. If we cannot break above that and hold it as support, we're still in a macro bearish trend. So it will be a while for Bitcoin to reach the trend level. And on top of that, in terms of the short term, I'm still seeing a possible breakdown of the Bitcoin because as we can see here on the daily, candles are moving up, but the volume are going down. So it might be a possibility that we might see a retrace of Bitcoin going down here, but not much to the point that I see that will create a new low. Well, that depends. We might see if there are anything surprising in the global markets, if there's anything that is out of the expectation that can flip everything out of this of my thoughts that this Bitcoin is going up and making new highs from this trend right here. Anyways, enough rambling, and then let's go back to the analysis of where I'm seeing Bitcoin by the end of 2022. So let's go here in the, at least in the weekly charts here. No, actually I go for the 3 days, way better, cleaner. So for me, I took the privilege of taking the recent years of the bear cycles where I try to compare and put on top of them here to see where we might be by the end of 2022. So one of the first cycles that we're going to look at is the 2019. Is it the 2019? I think I'm just gonna go for the yes. I'll start first with the 2018. So for the 2018, is it this one? Yes. For the 2018 low, this is the time when the Bitcoin crashed because of the hard fork, and then we traded sideways before making a surprise pump towards the end of the year. This is a possibility. Why? Because if we trade somewhere here and like that going at until the September, there's a possibility that if there's no new expectations, there are no new surprises in the market, we might really rally up here and then make a surprise bull run again at the end of the year. So this is a possibility. It's not out of the realm of possibilities because Bitcoin managed to do that back at 2018 to 2019. So if people are saying that this time is different, prove me wrong. Well, I mean, I have other what they call this cycles that shows that the 2018 low can be wrong, but I'm not going to look at this like candle by candle. I'm looking at this in the possible price targets at a certain timeline, especially here. Look at the confluence here in the red trend line hitting here at the kind of like a small pump here before going back down and then going sideways and then pump up. So in a sense, Bitcoin had a capitulation by time and then flip very bullish towards the end of the year. So that's one thing that I'm looking at. So that's for this case, for the 2018 low. This is my very bullish case for the price target by at least by the end of 2022. Where will Bitcoin go? So now let's go to a bearish case scenario where I'm thinking that I'm more in line to the more bearish case scenario. So let's go to the 2019 low. So this is the 2019 low. Is it this one? Yes, the 2019 low. So the 2019 low was the COVID surprise crash. So this happened like so this happened where we pump down, we pump up, and then we pump back down. I think this is like the type of scenario where most bears are looking at right now. Somewhat looks like a Wyckoff accumulation if you think it that way. If you look at the chart of Wyckoff accumulation, let me pull it up. What does a Wyckoff accumulation looks like? So a Wyckoff accumulation looks like this. Let me pull up the chart. It somewhat looks like this, where we've seen a pump up, a pump down, and then range, and then breaks out. So it's somewhat like that. A pump up, pump down, and then range, and then breaks up. So it can look like a Wyckoff's accumulation. But look at where the low can go. The low can go is like 13,000 to 10,000, where this is a likely possibility because this is where another strong support for Bitcoin. It's like in the areas of 10,000. Wait, what did I say earlier? 13. Yeah, 13,000 to 10,000. These are like an area of strong support also because this was the area of the like psychological support or resistance back in back in like 2018 moving to 2020. So that's it. So that's a possibility. And then here, look at the line here where it's the red trend line where we broke out. So this is a possibility of a breakout and then moving up. So this is also a good scenario, a possible scenario in 2019 low. So in a sense, and in terms of timing, it's also a good possibility because it's like a September low where the market is expecting like a very bearish September, same thing with very bearish August, and then pump towards the end of the year. So something to look at. But my bear case scenario for this one is that like what happened here afterwards, I don't know, I'm not certain. It's like we can go down, we can go up, but at least by the end of the year, I'm thinking that we could just like range bound until like 30K. Like we just going to like top here, 30K by the end of the year. So, and then another scenario that we can look at here is the 2021 low. The 2021 low is somewhat similar to the 2019, but less volatile. So that's the difference. It's less volatile than the 2019, where we just slowly creeping up and then breaking back down. So the 2021 low is like so we're just going back up here. So the good confluence here is the red trend line again, breaking out, and then by August and September, breaking down. But we use the red trend line, the red macro trend line, as a possible support, before breaking up here until towards the end of the year, sometime in October. But similar to 2019, we're expecting a top somewhere at the 30K before ranging back down and then here. So these are all the scenarios that I'm looking at for Bitcoin until the end of the year, which are like not outside of the realm of the possibilities. It's like these scenarios can happen so long as the markets, as like I said, like the markets, the narrative to the markets doesn't change. We're expecting a possible pivot for the Fed by the end of the year, or like rate hikes not slowing down. So so anything that is not surprising to the markets, we can form this type of ranges. So, but any type of like surprises, of course, we're going to like flip and change the direction. But like any surprise, I'm not that I would expect if I'm wanting to, if I want to predict what type of surprise that will come. Nothing bullish is certainly going to be very bearish, because most of the in the macroeconomic situation right now is very bearish. So anything surprising is going to be very bearish. So anyways, enough rambling. So looking at this, these are the scenario that I'm looking at for by the end of 2022. And like I said, I'm not looking at the price or the candles. I'm looking at the likely scenario of price or where might go based on the dates also. So this will be interesting. So right now, so what can you take away from here? The takeaway that I want you to have right now is that buy Bitcoin and accumulate it at least before the end of 2022. The time of 2022 is like the most bearish time period in my view. 2023 will be a time where a possibility that I can see that Bitcoin can go range higher than 30K. If we go range lower than 30K entering 2023, I think at least by the mid 2023, we might range higher than 30K. So that's my thoughts. 2022 is like where Bitcoin is going to be range bound at the very low prices. That's where you get the most discounts. So accumulate as much as you can by the end of 2022. 2023 will be a new market to assess. Anyways, thank you for tuning in and hope to see you again. Thanks. Bye.